Now, if you were able to, if these people were able to cast votes and nullify all of the votes of you high information voters, right? Wouldn't it actually be better for them and for you to disenfranchise their voting so that you guys could actually vote on political and policy issues that made sense?
Well, I don't think that stupid people are nullifying all of the votes of smart people.
Really? Think about what you just said. Can you think about what you just... Do you think there's more stupid people or smart people?
In this country? Yeah, it's probably more.
Okay, so you really don't think stupid people are nullifying the votes of smart people?
On a certain level, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they still deserve free will. I can't
They
rob
still have free will.
They don't, because they're still subject to the laws of this country.
Voting is a privilege. If you go to Australia and you commit a crime, can you go to jail in Australia?
Yeah.
But you can't vote in Australia, right?
Sure.
So do you see how that makes no sense? Like what you're saying makes no sense.
If you travel to another country and endanger people, like that's a threat. You're
not even endangering people. If you're just like drunk in public, you can be arrested.
That is a threat to public safety. No. Public intoxication is a threat to public safety.
That doesn't mean you're going to actually do anything wrong, right?
But you could.
Yeah.
Drunken people are habitually more violent, statistically more violent.
Or you could break some public ordinance, right? You could break some public ordinance you didn't know about. Like you're on a beach, right? Yeah. And you're in your shorts, and it was supposed to be T-shirts and shorts. You know, something like this.
Yeah, but breaking public ordinances doesn't lead to jail time.
It does if you don't pay the fine.
Well, then you should pay the fucking fine.
Well, see what I mean, though? So you are subject to those laws.
Yes.
And you are subject to imprisonment based on those laws. And if that's the case, you can't vote in those countries.
Okay, but you're not a citizen of that country. You're still a citizen of this country. If you were a citizen of this country and you live here and you are subject to the laws of this country for your entire life, from birth to death, you should have
Why do you want dumb people to disenfranchise your well-informed vote? That makes no sense. Not only that, you say that you're actually emboldening them with their free will, right? It's like, that's so silly, because ultimately, these people who are politically low information, they're so low information, you're allowing them to get taken advantage of.
Of course I don't want dumb people to disenfranchise my vote, but I don't think that the solution to that is a one-marriage voting system, or you have to do public service for 5 years to have a...
Give me an alternative.
But can't dumb people do that too? Like, couldn't a dumb person just do some fucking community service for 5 years and then get paid? I mean, like, there are dumb people in the army.
Listen, I agree with you that there can be some stupid people who get through the system, but they're not going to be probably low information. You're not going to go through 5 years of civil service like that for the purpose of being able to vote and be low information, or you wouldn't do it. You have an interest. That's what the whole point is.
Well, if your housing and your food is paid for, I think there are a lot of people who would be interested in that. The army. I mean, that's like exactly a version of civil
you have
service.
to take the army. You have to take an ASVAB test, and you have to score X amount of a score in order to even be placed in those things.
Big dog. My boyfriend's a vet. He talks about some dumb motherfuckers in the army.
Sure, there's dumb people in the army.
But so they would.
But to qualify for certain jobs, you can't be. And for civil service or something like this, you can do intelligence tests or things like that.
You're basically saying there should be an IQ test, and only those who would like to be civil servants who pass that IQ test.
Well, I think you should probably implement an IQ test for the military too, which they do.
Yeah, but people suck.
I mean, but they do. But they do, unless it's in wartime and they're like, okay, well, you just need a body in here, and then they'll grab anybody off the street. But yeah.
Can we ask a vet right now? I want to confirm that.
Of course.
Aiden, do you do IQ tests for the military?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I know guys in the army who are like mentally. Wait, you want boyfriend reveal?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Wait. Oh, go. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just go around that way.
Army. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, there are people who are there who are dumb. That's true, but they.
Here, baby, come here first.
If you can, just kind of like.
I've heard of that. It's called a Cat 5 waiver, right? They give them a Cat 5 waiver.
I'm talking about Category 5 waivers. I'm talking about. Can you just.
Baby, come here.
Shalom.
Not shalom.
In terms of like people in the army and IQ tests, like I've taken the ASVAB, it is not a very difficult test, and a lot of people get their ASVABs taken for them. I knew guys in the army who were like medically diagnosable with mental deficiencies and were still in the army doing jobs that in theory required a certain level of mental faculty.
Sure. Yeah, the system can get gamed, but those are exceptions, not the rule.
I wouldn't really go that far, to be honest with you. And then also in terms of your...
You don't think the majority of people are stupid, or in the army are stupid, do you?
I think that there are a great number of people who join the army because they want a place to live and food, which is the system you just described, and that's pretty much independent of intelligence.
They seem to be joining the army based around patriotism, the ability to get paid, the ability to do things like that. What's that?
When were you in the army?
I was in the army for a very limited amount of time, years and years ago.
How long was that very limited amount of time, if you don't mind me asking?
It wasn't very long, about a year.
About a year. So what happened?
Well, it doesn't matter what happened.
Oh, but we're talking about service, man.
What about it?
So you want to disenfranchise people based on military service? I actually know why most people join the
What are
Army.
you talking about? How would I disenfranchise them based on military service? One house voting system, or one marriage voting system, or people who have done some sort of collective service to the state for a voting system. I think that those things would all be very good systems for everybody. Or military service would be good.
So during this public service in which people are working 3 to 5 years unpaid, how are they paying for food and groceries and housing?
Yeah, so the state would take care of that just like they do in the military.
The state would take care of that like they do in the military. And how do you plan on getting that passed? So again, we're trying to go back. We're trying to figure out how your system would work in terms of those who are participating in some sort of civil service.
Yeah, so you would have some type of civil service, right, which a person would participate in for at least 5 years.
5 years?
Yes, unpaid.
5?
Yes, unpaid.
That's ridiculous.
Why?
No,
it would be the opposite.
If you're requiring people to serve
No, it wouldn't require them to serve in the Army. Literally didn't say that.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I literally didn't say that.
Thank you for your help.
I disagree. But thank you.
Okay.
Readjust this.
So now we've established that people in the Army can very much be stupid. So
nobody ever disputed you can have stupid people in the Army.
Okay, so that's like exactly a
the
version
Army.
of civil
You have
service.
to take the Army. You have to take an ASVAB test, and you have to score X amount of a score in order to even be placed in those things.
So they would.
But to qualify for certain jobs, you can't be. And for civil service or something like this, you can do intelligence tests or things like that.
So you're basically saying if you're past that IQ test,
well, I think you should probably implement an IQ test for the military too, which they do.